Let's talk soul. You already know soul legends like Aretha Franklin, Marvin Gaye, the Supremes. There were hundreds of American artists who recorded demos in the 60s and 70s that never made it on the radio. Enter a group of enthusiastic British music collectors who gave these songs a home and created an underground genre that was dubbed Northern Soul. Reporter Rebecca Rossman has the story about how this movement came to be and its modern-day resurgence.
This is the sound of a sold-out club in East London in 2023. The song 1965's Tainted Love by the American artist Gloria Jones. If Aretha Franklin is the queen of soul, Gloria Jones is the queen of Northern Soul. There's an important distinction here.
Northern Soul is inherently up-tempo, black, like American music that never really made it in America.
That's Lewis Henderson. He's one half of the Deptford Northern Soul Club, the duo headlining tonight's event at the Moth Club in Hackney.
It's like B-music, it's like B-movies, but, like this kind of fast, up-tempo music that people didn't want to listen to in their homes.
Which is what brought it to clubs like this one. Tonight, it's a Gen Z audience looking to dance.
When you get a big mass of people together and you want to dance, this is possibly the most amazing music to dance to.
But as packed and energetic as this dance floor is, the story of Northern Soul hardly starts with this generation. It really starts in the 1960s, when most of these records were made. 29-year-old Will Foote is the other half of the Deptford Northern Soul Club. He says those B-sides were destined to live in obscurity. That is, if it wasn't for an obsessive group of British music collectors.
There's stories of DJs flying over to America and going to places like Miami and Chicago and Detroit and just going through warehouses of records that dealers were selling on and didn't really know what they have, and they would bring them back and make them hits in the UK.
Hits not just anywhere in the UK. Northern Soul's success came from cities and clubs across northern England, where the music resonated with the region's working class. People like the legendary Northern Soul DJ Colin Curtis.
In a nutshell, this is working class people finding an exciting music form and finding clubs that were doing this, and then the extra excitement of an all-nighter. You can stay up all night, you can tell your mum you're staying at a friend's, but you're going to be out all night.
One of the most famous clubs was a place called Wigan Casino, a ballroom just outside of Manchester that could fit 2,000 people.
There's folk spinning, folk running up the walls, flipping over, landing in box splits, and there's music building, clapping. It was heaven.
That's Keb Darge, a Scottish Taekwondo master turned dancer turned DJ, who says from a dance perspective, there was nothing like Wigan.
I've been trying to recreate it as a DJ ever since, because it was so good.
As for the music itself, dozens of American artists whose careers never took off at home were now the stars of Northern Soul, unbeknownst to many of them.
We did track down artists, and they were amazed that we knew the records. Some of them didn't even remember they made the records, They got, Johnny Baker's Shy Guy was working as a gas station, and they got ahead of him to say, we got some money for you.
And I don't know why I'm a shy guy.
But to everything, there is a season, and over the years, Northern Soul's influence started to fade. Clubs like Wigan were forced to shut, fans got older. Which is what makes Gen Z crowds like this one in East London peculiar. But in many ways, they say they're interested in Northern Soul for the same reason as the people who first discovered this genre back in the 60s. Here's 24-year-old Alex Standish.
There's no sense of conformity. Everyone turns up in crazy outfits and they dance in a way which is completely uninhibited.
In other words, Standish sees Northern Soul as an escape. And he says it feels very freeing to be a part of what was once thought of as an ephemeral underground movement. For NPR News, I'm Rebecca Rossman in London.